Yo, welcome back to the N.y.a show. By the time this show comes out, it should be Friday, baby. I'm getting ready for the homecoming game. I ain't been to a homecoming game since I graduated high school in 2013. That last one I went to in high school. So get ready for that, as well as the party Saturday, as well as my high school reunion on Sunday, which I will be sure to post pictures of all these shows are finishing up and the finished files are popping up in my face. But as I'll be sure to put out there, once again, I want to shout out to everyone that supports the show, the Queen rereads, the Delicious Kitchen, then Nikita's, the Lando Tech, my wife, people that actually comment and give your thoughts on the story. As always, peace interview literally is no pressure. Episode 154. Links below, as well as how a mother is balancing life in the pursuit of dreams. An interview with actress Breyonna M. Thomas by Ajay Tambe. Those links are always below for you guys to check those out. Now, the story of the finish off the week, which I tend to catch a couple of stories that start a little small when I catch it on Sundays, and then it started to take off in the mainstream. I'd be glad that I got my thoughts out, because at least you can know that my thoughts, when from hearing nobody else talk, I was talking off my own code. You know what I'm saying? With my own thoughts and opinions on it. So I was supposed to do the show on originally supposed to do the show on Tuesday night. Yeah, everybody listen to this on Friday. This show was initially supposed to be done on Tuesday night. No, on Monday night. My bad, on Monday night. But it's being done a little later after that. But it may be a story that I do that may ends up getting a little bit bigger, and I already know it's going to be the trigger points of it. Georgia deputy shoots, unalives a man who spent 16 years in a Florida prison on wrongful conviction. What a way to go! This comes straight out of Atlanta on October 16th, 2000. Well, it says CBS Miami right there, because they're Florida's, is involved with the story as well. But it happened up here. A man who spent more than 16, a time for a child to grow and become a teenager, get ready to go to college, spent it in Florida on a wrongful conviction, was shot and unalived Monday by a sheriff deputy in Georgia during a traffic stop. Authorities and representatives said Leonard Allen Cure, 53, was identified by the Georgia Bureau of Investigations, which is reviewing the shooting. His death was confirmed to the South Florida Sun Sentinel by Seth Miller, executive director of the Innocence Project of Florida, who worked with Cure on his wrongful conviction case. We're devastated by the news of the tragic death, and we don't have any further comments at this time, Miller told the newspaper, as they should. Say your condolences, devastated, and then keep it moving. You don't have no need to get a news, no information like that when it comes to something like this, right at the beginning. Traffic stop led to a fatal shooting, the Georgia Bureau of Investigation said. A Camden County deputy pulled over a driver along the Interstate 95 near the Georgia-Florida line, and the driver got out of the car at the deputy's request. He cooperated at first, but became violent when he was told he was being arrested. A GBI news release said the agency said preliminary information shows the deputy shot the driver with a stun gun when he failed to obey commands, and the driver then began assaulting the deputy. Institutionalized. The GBI said the deputy again tried using the stun gun and a baton to subdue him, then drew his gun and shot the driver when he continued to resist. That's something that we must point out here. In that they said that the guy had a stun. He tried to hit him with the stun gun. Of course, if the body cam was on, that information and that footage will be put out as well. The agency didn't say what prompted the deputy to pull over Cure's vehicle, but as I've learned from doing a little research, probable cause can be just about anything. You get what I'm saying? It can be just about anything these days. You know what I'm saying? It cannot be a smell of what in your car, and they could say, smelling like y'all. What they say? Y'all smell. What Jen said? Y'all smoking up in here. One of them type of things. Ain't nobody even been smoking, and now you getting out of a car when you shouldn't even never had to get out of the vehicle. Probable cause can be just about anything. It is customary for Georgia law enforcement agencies to ask the GBI to investigate shootings involving officers. The agency said it will submit its findings to the district attorney for the Coastal Brunswick Judicial Circuit, which includes Camden County. What's particular about Brunswick? What's particular about Brunswick? Now, I have that part right here. This is what, remember Ahmaud Arbery? That happened in Brunswick. Travis McMichael, Greg McMichael, and William Rhodey, you roll with them, and now you're going to be life whip roll. You may get out, maybe. Rhodey, Brian. Remember these guys? There were some guys out of Brunswick. And guess what? On top of that, this, like I said, this could become a thing just because people could rally behind the fact that right here, this guy, Keith Higgins, that is the district attorney of Brunswick Judicial Court, a circuit. Jackie Johnson was the one with her homies covering up for the Ahmaud Arbery situation. So there could be a thing where they like, yo, this the new guy in charge. He came after Shorty that didn't do nothing about the Ahmaud Arbery situation. You got to do something about this one. I already know how these things could be, they can be spent. They can be spent. Cure was convicted of the 2003 armed robbery of a drugstore in Florida's N.y.a Beach and sentenced to life in prison because he had previous convictions for robbery and other crimes. I don't know what the other crimes were, and I don't know what the robberies were. I don't think anybody, I guess, necessarily spend their life in prison because they robbed something. You get what I'm saying? Those other crimes, I don't know what those were, but maybe they were, and these were different life rules too. So maybe those were a little bit over the line. Who knows? We may probably never know. But if it become a big story when they try to villainize them, when those will be the stories, I'll be able to find out what exactly those other crimes were. You hear me? But the case had issues from the start, and his conviction came from a second jury after the first one deadlocked on some YMW Melly stuff. In 2020, the Broward State Attorney's Office new conviction review unit asked the judge to release Cure from prison. Broward's conviction review team said it found troubling revelation that Cure had solid alibis that were previously disregarded and no physical evidence or solid witnesses to put him at the scene. An independent review panel of 5 local lawyers concurred with the findings. And that's sad because you would think that back in 2003 that they would at least not be able to just throw you in jail when there were no solid physical evidence and no witness at the scene. But like I said, there's other ways to get you. Cure was released that April after his sentence was modified that December. A judge vacated the conviction and his sentence back in 2020. So the dude didn't even get 5 years of back to the regular life before he became a PAT. Cure was released. All right, I'm looking forward to putting this situation behind me and moving on with my life, Cure told the Sun Sentinel at the time. In June, Florida Governor Ron DeSantis signs a claims bill granting Cure $817,000 in compensation for his conviction and imprisonment, along with education benefits. I hope that meant that they got to send him to college. They said that Ron DeSantis signed that. I don't know why they don't push more things like that out there. Like I said, all politicians, everything they do ain't good, everything they do ain't bad. Because he did sign over to get a man over almost $1 million for his time. I don't know if $1 million is fit for that long in prison, but given the amount of money that most of us are making year by year, and if you would count it up for 16 years, most of us probably won't even make $1 million. So the fact that the fact that he got 800,000 something, I mean, that's that y'all should probably clap it up for that. The Leonard we knew was smart, funny, and kind. Broward State Attorney Harold F. Pryor said in a statement to the paper Monday evening. After he was freed and exonerated by the office, he visited prosecutors at the office and participated in training to help our staff do their job in the fairest and most thorough way possible. He would frequently call to check in on the Assistant State Attorney Ariel Denby Berger, the head of the Conviction Review Unit, to offer our team encouragement to continue the important work of justice. Amen. Like I always say, remember that story I did with the dude on the bus stabbed the other guy to death over a small altercation, and he was just not too long got out, and they had put him on one of those little things that said that he wasn't a threat, and here he was like 2 days later and took the man's life on the train, on the bus. Not to say that this man here's situation is the same, because I would at least want with everything that happens in your life to be given the benefit of the doubt for just a little bit, that you lose your cool. I'm a very calm-mannered person, so if anybody hear about something crazy happening with me, just know it was a moment of flaw where I lost my cool. When you lose your cool, it's okay for the people who don't lose their cool to lose their cool. You shouldn't, but there are repercussions that sadly nobody can save you from when you do lose your cool. Even if you're the real cool person, somebody out there should be able to say, yo, even though they saying that he did to the cop, that's not the person that I knew. If that's truly what your image is, you know what I'm saying? But it's N.y.a show. Let me know your thoughts on this. Will this turn into a bigger story than what I'm talking about? I know the story. Like I said, Leonard Cure, 53 years old, lost his life after spending 16 years in the slammer. He only had been out since 2020. Let me know your thoughts on the story as always. I appreciate y'all. Leave your comments below.